Did you know that you charge too little? Across the board, I see this all the time. And here's the simple truth. Your clients need you to charge more. They don't want you to charge more because granted, we all want a good deal. We all don't want to pay full price, yada, yada, yada. But if you really want to serve your clients, you have to raise your price. You have to charge enough so that they get the service they deserve. They get the results they deserve, and they get the support that they deserve. See, your clients need you to charge more. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, as I'm going through today, as I'm sharing about these different ideas, stories, and reasons why I think you should charge more, which I do think you should charge more. So the first thing I want to talk about are what are the peaks and valleys in business? Now, these happen all the time, all over the place. There are a lot of reasons for peaks and valleys, but it comes down to two things. Well, really one thing if you think about it. It's what are you focusing on? Okay? Focus is the key to eliminating the peaks and valleys in business. And here's what typically happens in businesses, especially as you're smaller and growing. Anything under, I would say, $10, $15 million in revenue, you go through these cycles. And it is a cycle of intense focus on lead generation, which means you look at your pipeline and you think, oh my Lanta, what are we going to do? How are we going to survive this? There is nothing here. We need help, right? Have you ever been there? I know I have. It sucks. So we go through this wake up moment where we're like, oh my gosh, we've got to bring in new business. So we hit the phones, we start asking for referrals, we start doing the behaviors that are going to drive sales in the future, and we start prospecting. So we have this intense focus, and then holy cow, it works. Leads start coming in, and you start thinking, I am so glad we figured out that. I am so glad we made it through it. Now let's go produce. And instead of focusing on generating more leads, you focus on production or sales. You got the lead, now let's close it. And now you stop the focus on lead generation. This is where the peaks and valleys in business come from. Changing focus from lead generation to other areas. If you want to consistently generate revenue, you've got to be great at focusing on lead generating activities. If you're not, you've got to be great on charging enough to do everything profitably, because there's not going to be enough margin because you don't have enough leads. It's a crazy cycle we live in, right? So there is a question I got to ask. Have you ever had great service, like amazing, and you went back to that company, that provider, and all of a sudden they're closed? Have you ever experienced that? So once we were remodeling a rental that my parents had, and the floors needed redone. And so my dad goes out, he's getting bids, he's working through everything. And one of his guys said, Jim, you got to talk to this guy. So gave him a name and a number. Jim called him, had him come out. Everybody else's bids have been between 6 and 10K. So this guy came back, and his bid was 3K. Everybody else is 6 to 10. And he's like, how can you do this? So they go and negotiate all that stuff. Anyways, Jim ends up hiring this company and negotiated down to I think the final bid was like $2,400 for a complete reflooring in this business. So $2,400, a steal. And he did the best job of any of the subs working on that project. Phenomenal work. Jim had another rental. My dad, Jim, love you, Dad, had another rental. Went back, same guy, out of business. See, here's the problem. If you do not charge enough, you will not be in business long enough to grow, long enough to service your clients, long enough to help them get where they're trying to go, get where they want to go. See, you owe it to your clients to charge enough to be profitable. This is a question I get asked all the time. Justin, how do you determine the price, right? Some people say based on what the market will bear. I think that is a load of hogwash. You should never charge based on what someone's willing to pay. You should charge based on what it will take for you to be profitable, okay? You need to be profitable. You need to provide for your family. You need to provide for your employees. You need to cover all your expenses and make profit. We are not in business to be a charity. Although we love giving money, let's not do it based on the job, okay? Especially in remodeling. People will buy work. Do not get in the habit of buying work. When you buy work, that's when you go in and you say, if I did this, I think I could do it for 10 grand. And then it costs 15 grand. And you got paid 10 grand. That means you paid someone 5 grand to redo their house, right? Do you see how this is insane? You've got to be charging enough to be profitable so that you can be there to service your clients' needs, to build those relationships. So that's the second reason you've got to charge enough, guys, because your clients deserve it. They deserve to have you there taking care of them, providing for them, helping them through these issues, helping them through these challenges, right? So let me ask you another question. Have you ever felt frustrated that you got this piece of business, but based on the price you sold it at, you don't feel like you can afford to have someone else do the work, right? Have you ever been frustrated that your business, what you're going through, you're like, oh my gosh, I hate this because I'm constantly doing this, right? That is an indication that you are not charging enough, okay? If you are stuck doing all of the work, that's how you build a practice. Now, I love doctors. If you are a doctor, I thank you wholeheartedly, but I don't like their business model. See, there's a reason doctors' offices are called practices. It's because when the doctor is in, they make money, right? And they are practicing. Makes sense. The problem is, if they're not in, they're not making money. So I want to encourage you as you're building your business, as you're out there selling, you've got to charge enough so you do not create a practice, okay? A practice is when you're out there doing the work in order to get revenue. You need to build a business that is sustainable, okay? When you charge enough, you can afford to hire a team to do the work. You can afford to have someone out there who is getting everything done so you can focus on growing the business. You can focus on finding more clients to serve. You can focus on helping the community. You can focus on the best use of your skills, not on doing the actual activities. You've got to charge enough in order to focus on these different things. So as you're going through building your business, as you're looking at how do I price these things out? How do I figure this out? I just want to encourage you, charge enough. You've got to charge enough to do it profitably. You've got to charge enough to do it in a way that makes it easy for your clients to get the service they deserve. One last thing. Have you ever gotten a call from a client and you looked at your phone and you thought, oh my God, why are they calling again? What do they want? That is the tall tale sign of not charging enough, right? If they're paying you $1 million a month or $1 million a year, they could call at midnight and you would look at your phone and you'd be like, hot dog, I'm so glad they called. I love taking care of you because you take care of me, right? You've got to charge enough so that you can take care of your clients the way they deserve to be taken care of. And with that said, go forth, have a wonderful day, because it is today that is the first day of the rest of your life. And I appreciate y'all, and I hope you have a wonderful day.